Alrighty everyone, so I just got back from the official release of Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker by Disney, Lucasfilm, J.J. Abrams that wraps up the entire sequel trilogy and the Skywalker saga that started back in 1977. This is Mike Zeroh. Make sure to subscribe if you are new to the channel for future content. Now, what I will say about this video is that we won't be going into any spoilers. I will be going over my honest reaction of the movie. I was able to process my thoughts. I just got back. I saw the film. I'm able to process exactly how I feel about the film after seeing it for the very first time, and I will be going over exactly what I think about that. So once again, if you guys are in fear of spoilers, don't be, in fear of that. There's going to be no spoilers in this video. However, stay tuned. I will be doing a spoilers review, a full spoilers review of The Rise of Skywalker later on, where I will be going over all the points at the very beginning, all the way to the end of the movie, and what I think about those points. So let's get on to the reaction here of The Rise of Skywalker. Now, one thing I can say is that this movie, a lot of fans are going to either love aspects of it or hate aspects of it. And that's exactly how I felt about this movie. I will be very honest. The story felt very convoluted and rushed at times in all acts of the film, as if the movie was multiple movies in one, where even at times it didn't take enough time to focus on some of the core characters. So, you guys may have heard of those other reactions at the Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker premiere after some people were able to go ahead and see it over in Los Angeles. The social media reactions on Twitter, were wild. They were going everywhere, expressing very similar things that I just actually felt once I went to go ahead and see this movie. I will admit that this movie does feel convoluted, it does feel rushed at times, and it really does feel like multiple movies thrown into one big movie. That's how I felt, at least. And that's just what I really have to say about the first thing that I noticed in the first act of episode 9. Now, the movie is without a doubt better than The Last Jedi. There's no denying that, at least in my opinion. It is better than that of The Last Jedi. I feel that you really can't get anything worse than The Last Jedi, and that goes into what J.J. Abrams had to do with this movie, which I'll get to in just a second. And slightly better than that of The Force Awakens with great visuals and effects. So this movie, without a doubt, it has great visuals and effects. They did a great job on that. It is better than The Last Jedi. It's slightly, just a slight bit better than that of The Force Awakens, in my book at least. However, I do have a lot of problems with this movie as well, which I will be going over, by the way, in my spoilers review. Now, the acting at times isn't that impressive, and the dialogue in various scenes are not well written at times either. However, it does have its emotional highs and highlight moments that I surprisingly enjoyed. Now, I can't say I believe the movie is great consistently, but that I enjoyed a handful of scenes in the movie. So that's another thing I will say about this, is that this movie, I can't really say that I can call it a great Star Wars movie consistently, like from start to finish, but that it does have a lot of flaws, but it does have a lot of great scenes in the movie, if I really had to be honest. There are great scenes in this story, but at the same exact time, there are terrible scenes in The Rise of Skywalker. Without going into any spoilers, as much as I want to, I'm not going to do that in this video. That's going to be for another video. So, without going into any spoilers, once again, this movie, without a doubt, is a big slap in the face to Rian Johnson. It really is. I will go into that on my spoilers review. There are full-blown scenes that reference some of Rian Johnson's decisions in The Last Jedi that were attempted to be fixed by J.J. Abrams. Now, when you guys go ahead and see this movie, alright, I will pick it out here specifically in the second act, the end of Act 2 specifically. You're going to notice a lot of, I guess you could say, signs by J.J. Abrams that he actually realized what Rian Johnson did in The Last Jedi and how he kind of wants to fix elements of that. That's very apparent at one point in time in the movie. That's all I will say. Now, the music is fantastic by John Williams. I think that the film has great themes from start to finish. It could have had better themes at specific moments in the movie, but for the most part, there are good themes in this movie. I personally did not enjoy the final battle between specific characters, without going into spoilers, of course. However, the final frames of the movie will create a spike of nostalgia. The movie felt very strange for me personally. At times, I enjoyed the movie, then at other times, but I also hate the film at other times as well. It was like an emotional roller coaster for me, if I really had to be honest. That's what the movie felt like. It was an emotional roller coaster. There were times where, alright, I'm liking this scene, and then it goes down to another scene where I'm just like nodding my head and rolling my eyes. So that's how I felt with The Rise of Skywalker. That's just me being honest here, is that it feels like an emotional roller coaster as far as what I liked and what I did not like. And that's a lot better than The Last Jedi for me, which was like a flat line. The Last Jedi to me was like a flat line. I had no emotion in that movie. I didn't really feel sad. I didn't feel excited. I don't know what I felt for that movie, but I just felt numb watching The Last Jedi. At least in this movie, you feel emotions. You actually feel something for specific scenes that are done by JJ because of how, well the acting is at times. There are moments in this movie where the acting is perfect, and you guys will know exactly what I'm talking about when we go over the spoilers review. I'm sure that a lot of you out there will like specific scenes that I liked, but I'm sure that others of you out there will also agree with the scenes that I personally did not like at all. So that's my honest reaction of The Rise of Skywalker so far. Like I say, I think the thing that bothered me the most was the acting and the dialogue at times seemed rather off, and that the movie felt very convoluted and very rushed at times from start to finish. That's at least what I believe. Now, do I think it's a terrible movie? Not really. Do I think it's better than that of The Last Jedi? Yes. It's a decent Star Wars film. I mean, it's entertaining, but it has a lot of flaws. It's a movie that I don't see myself watching consistently over and over and over again, but I can't say that I hate this movie. I really can't say that I hate this movie, down to the core. It does have a lot of problems. I will address that. It does have a lot of issues in the film, and I'm sure a lot of you will realize this, but there are specific points in time in the movie where it is actually rather enjoyable. Now, as far as Palpatine's scenes in the film, let me say one thing, is that there are points in time where Palpatine is just completely wasted, and they could have done so much more with the character of Palpatine, and I can't really go into spoilers, so I'm trying to really dodge around specific discussions here, but there are moments in the film where Palpatine, has moments in the movie where you kind of just wish, they could have extended it a bit more, I guess you could say, or have done something different without saying anything more than that. This movie, I feel like that they really had to do a lot of damage control based on what happened with The Last Jedi, and a lot of fans see that. This movie has a lot of fan service. At some points in time, the fan service works. At other points in time, the fan service does not work. So, like I've said before in the past, a couple of minutes ago, is that it feels like an emotional roller coaster. That's how I felt. I felt great at times, and then I felt very let down at times with this movie. There were even points in time where I was very confused as to why they wouldn't answer specific questions in the story, and I'm sure that you guys have seen the movie will know exactly what I'm talking about. There are specific questions that are left unanswered in The Rise of Skywalker that kind of leaves you scratching your head and saying to yourself, what in the world, what was that? So, like I've said before, if you look at the Rotten Tomatoes score, right now it stands at 58% by the critics, and today the official audience score is going to be released in no time, and we're going to be able to see exactly what the ratio is, right, between the critics and the audience. Because if you look at Rotten Tomatoes, right, the traditional thing is that the critics score low, usually the audience score is higher. That's usually how it works, right? If it's both low, that'll show us that the majority of fans feel divided. And that's exactly what a lot of people were saying when they saw the movie at the premiere and got out of it, is that there were a lot of divided fans. There really were. Some people loved it, some people hated it, but it's not fully hated like The Last Jedi. It is nothing like that, I can promise you that. This movie is not hated like The Last Jedi, at least in my opinion. Is it the best Star Wars movie? Absolutely not. Is it slightly better than The Force Awakens? Yes. Is it better than The Last Jedi? Yes. Do I think it's a great Star Wars movie? No. But do I think it has very satisfying points in the film? Absolutely. It has highlight moments, like I said before. So again, that's exactly what I have to say without going into spoilers. I really hope you guys did enjoy the entire video for today, and let me know what you guys thought about the film. I would love to hear your reactions, whether or not you're just getting out of the theater right now, or if you have seen the movie already. Let me know what you think about that below in the comments. Without going into spoilers, try to respect people in the comments below, since they will be going down there and will be exposed to spoilers if they are listed below. So just kind of respect that. Thank you so much. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you also very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.